So very good morning, everyone. Let's quickly take a look at one question from the audit evidence test your understanding 5, which was asked in your September 2025 exam as well. As auditor of Groom Limited, you have sent positive information request to 30 creditors of the company in March 2024. All the creditors in the informal sector or small sectors or small concerns, you selected to send positive confirmation request to all the above parties at their business addresses stated on respective bills after discussing the matter of the CFO of the company. The CFO is cooperative and does not raise any hassles in the matter. Responses to confirmation requests are received within weeks' time. Your article assistant informed you out of 30 creditors, GST election of 25 creditors has been cancelled in 2024 itself by collating information from GST portal. So he further informs you there are no fresh registrations pertaining to the parents of this parties. How you will proceed to deal with the situation as an auditor of the company? This is the question. Now let's quickly take a look at what first you got to right. First thing is, as I always emphasize, you should start with legal requirement as per section 143 subsection 9 of Companies Act 2013. Auditor must comply with the auditing standards. Then you should apply with you should start proceeding with the relevant standard, that is SA 505 external confirmation. Then start the answer. SA 505 states that if auditor determines that a response to confirmation request is not reliable, is unreliable, the auditor shall evaluate the implications on the assessment of relevant ROMM, that is risk of material misstatement, including risk of fraud and on the related NTE of the audit procedures. So if you write till here, at least 1 to 1.5 marks is guaranteed. Then coming on the facts of the case, in the instant case, GST registration of 25 concerns have been cancelled in the year 23-24. It indicates that businesses on these addresses were closed. So there are no fresh registrations pertaining to the PANs of these parties. But the auditor sent external confirmation requests in March 24, which were duly responded. So it raises questions on the reliability of the response received. So this is a significant aspect which you should give emphasis to. Then you should start giving reference to, till now we have seen the answer from SA 505 angle. Now taking reference to SA 500, as I keep emphasizing, the questions these days are picked where multiple standards are covered. So SA 500 indicates that even when audit evidence obtained from sources external to the entity, circumstances may exist that affects its reliability. So all responses carry some risk of, listen carefully, I repeat, all responses carry some risk of interception, alteration or fraud. So such risk exists regardless of whether a response is obtained in paper form or by electronic or any other medium. And another important para which will carry 1 mark for this particular question is factors that may indicate doubts about the relative responses include whether it was received by the auditor indirectly, or appeared not to come from the originally intended confirming party. So keeping in view of the circumstances as discussed, there is a risk that the response has not come from the originally intended confirming party. So unreliable responses may indicate a fraud risk factor that requires evaluation. Let's quickly summarize the key terms for this. So risk of material misstatement, risk of fraud, confirming party, and whether audit received indirectly or appear not to come from the originally intended confirming party. And also you should start your answer with, I repeat, you should start your answer with legal requirement, that is section 143 subsection 9 of Companies Act 2013, then relevant standard SA 505 and also 500. So if you write all these things, there is no way you lose any marks on this kind of questions. So make full use of it. Keep going. Wish you all the very best.